Estate Motivated. I am here. I have a very special guest. I am here with Danielle Atkins.
Yes.
Danielle Atkins. She is a realtor, developer, among other things. You have you're really multifaceted in a way. I'll let you do a brief intro real quick if I didn't do it good enough.
Okay. No, you're fine. So my name is Danielle Atkins. I'm a real estate developer here in New Orleans. I also coach and train people on how to invest in real estate as well. Background, you want background right now?
Not yet.
Oh.
Let's save it.
Okay.
But I do want to check out this beautiful home you're developing first.
Okay. 45 days out right now. So
Okay.
It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's coming together.
And I'm sorry, we didn't do a introduction of your daughter.
Oh, you can.
Your beautiful daughter. If you can tell us her name.
This is my daughter, Lena. She's 4 years old.
Okay.
Say hello. That's the way she does it.
Beautiful. Okay, so back to the home. I see this phenomenal trim work.
Yeah.
So how hands-on are you with like the design process and things like that?
Pretty hands-on. My builder is pretty great. He has a good eye. So we kind of keep replicating but improving and kind of making better each build.
Gotcha.
But on mine, we really focus on the details because that's what really sells it. So the vaulted ceilings, the built-ins. We do a lot of woodwork sometimes, so you'll see the wall is gonna have a paneling on it.
Okay.
Usually we have beams, but this one no beams.
I noticed that in one of your other projects, beautiful beams.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Beams. We can walk through and
yeah, definitely.
we have a little bit of this bathroom is kind of done. So this will be like a laundry room, closet.
Oh wow, spacious.
This is your master bedroom, and you can't see it, but we're gonna have like a one door right here.
Okay.
This is it right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
Oops, probably. And this is your master bathroom. So and we try to do like different fixtures for like chandeliers like in the bathrooms and stuff. I really like that. It's super cute.
No, this is really nice. It's a little bit dark, but yes, definitely. When I see like the building, I just see like you have an eye for detail.
Yeah.
Just because I know like the process, and I know like you're just thinking ahead and know what, and you actually care about what the homeowner would like, and yeah, definitely.
Super important.
This is beautiful.
And then the other are just gonna be, 2 basic bedrooms, regular bathroom. I think we have some in this bedroom, closet, and I'm working that bathroom.
Oh, that trim work is in every bedroom, really? Oh wow. So do you have a favorite phase of development?
Done. Done is my favorite.
Done and sold, huh?
Done and sold. That is my favorite.
Okay, so Danielle, we toured this beautiful home that you're building. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into who you are.
Okay.
And where you from?
Okay, so I'm from New Orleans, born and raised. Since college, I didn't really move back. I was in Monroe, Louisiana, working. So right out of college, I got into computer information systems. So that was my major. So I got a job up there, and I just was in corporate America, kind of bouncing around year after year as a software engineer.
Okay.
So that's my background for like 16 years.
Oh wow.
And probably after the first 6 months of working, I knew this can't be life. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I really got inspired and interested into entrepreneurship. and real estate at the same time. So I started like online boutiques before there was online boutiques. This was like 07, 08. Bought my first house. House hacked it and rented it out to a friend of mine.
Okay. So it was a duplex?
No, it was a single family.
Okay.
So I had a friend, this was like road home time. I had a really good friend, and we were all driving to Baton Rouge to go to work because, you know, everybody was working for the road home.
Yeah.
And so I rented it out to her for $500 a month. I paid the other $300. And I was like, okay, this is a way.
Get used to this.
Yeah, get used to it. Then after that, the next year I bought a duplex. And several years later, I was not in a good place. Just went through like a divorce and bankruptcy and all my money gone. I had to quit my job to take care of my baby because I just did not. I was in Texas at the time, and so I didn't have family and friends. So I was like, I can't send her to this. I'm not paying $1,500 a month to send my kids to daycare. Yeah. So what I did was I got into Airbnb. So I got into Airbnb. I had a couple Airbnbs down here in New Orleans while I was living up there. And after I just had a really rough month and broke even, but didn't get enough to be paying my personal things. Yeah. So moved back home. Took me a while, found a job, got on at IBM, and I was watching HGTV, and I was just like, I'm supposed to be flipping houses. Like, I had everything then. Why didn't I move? I thought about moving, but I had so many people tell me, I don't think you can do this. Or, you know, I talked to friends at the time, and everybody was kind of uninterested in doing this. So I thought, hey, maybe I'm doing too much with real estate, but I really wasn't. Like, I should have kept pushing. But just at that time, being in that state, bankruptcy, I still had that my first property. I had to kind of short sell my duplex. And what can I say? Y'all gonna edit out all these ums?
You're doing good, trust me.
I am? Okay.
They're probably used to my ums, so you're fine.
Okay. So, what was I? Bankruptcy, all the way under on bills and everything, because it took me a while to get a job before I got here. Got on at IBM in December 2018, and from that moment on, I just built a financial plan, like a budget, to where, you know, I had these Airbnbs making me some money. I can try to keep churning out and paying all these debts that I have, so I can get myself and get my credit fixed to get myself in a position to flip houses. I had no idea how to flip houses. I knew, but I didn't, you know, it's different when you know somebody that's actually doing it, right? So, am I talking too much?
No.
Okay.
This is what we want.
Okay. So, I had some great months Airbnb. You know, the rest of my money was really always, you know, at the end of the month, it was zero, right? But
so you're kind of breaking even,
just paying, still in debt. Okay, all my bills, all my money goes to all these bills, and then that's a wrap. And so Airbnb had some great months, and I still had two in September, October-ish, like festival season. So I was like, okay, made some money. Now let me get some property. So found out about the NORA auction. New Orleans Redevelopment Association, and I just put all the money I had up from that Airbnb up. It was like $7,000.
So big risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk. But it wasn't because you put up that money as a deposit to bid on 2 lots. So it was like $3,500 per lot. Okay. So it was like, I'm in here, my mind is thinking big, like, hey, I'm gonna get 2, but you know, I'm like, well, if I get 1, that's cool, but I really want to get 2. Yeah. So got in the auction, and I actually won. And then when I won one, I was like, okay, let me get another one. And they were both in Gentilly. That was my prime, you know, thought process, because I knew the numbers. Like I knew, okay, this can make me 6 figures plus. Yeah. And I tried to get other people to help me invest. They really didn't. Nobody was hearing it, you know. And so going ahead, it took me 3 months to close on the deals because I could not get the financing. I had bankruptcy on my credit report. I had under a 640 credit score, but I had a good job. but to them it was like it doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
So what I did is I prayed that God would send me some people who are doing what I want to do and doing it bigger. And that's what I found. So I actually met my broker, Rachel Riley from Lion Realty.
Okay.
She wasn't my broker at the time, but I just met her and I said, hey, let me take you out to lunch. And I did, and she knew what I wanted to do, and she was like, okay girl, let me tell you, you're on the right track, you just need to do X, Y, and Z. So I was like, okay. And so ever since then we just developed a relationship, a friendship. And you know, if I need a pointer or anything, she helps me out. So she pointed me in the direction of a what's the word, of a lender, a hard money lender.
Okay.
And she showed me that I could use my land as collateral to get the property. So I found that.
Because at that point you owned it flat out because you bought it from Nora, right?
Well, okay, so not really flat out. I still have to pay the hard money lender. So I have a loan. I had a loan with them for 12 months, and then in the midst of that, I had somebody working on my credit. And while they're working on my credit, I'm looking for other lenders. So before that year was up, I found a lender who finally said, okay, we'll do this deal, we'll do both deals. So we'll do the construction and buy out from the hard money lender.
Oh wow.
And I was like, what? So I got this $435,000 loan. It was to the point to where even the guy at the title company was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm just a regular person. Like, he's like, are you from out of town? I was like, no. And you know, so it was that whole thing.
That's unheard of. I've never heard of that before. That's a blessing. That's really good.
It's total blessing. Total blessing. It was all God.
Yeah.
And so, but I bought right too, right? So at the time, properties in Gentilly were going for about $65,000 appraising just the land by itself, and I found two, and I got them way under that in the auction.
Yeah.
So it really is a dream to the right lender. So, but like I say, it took me 3 months before I even found the hard money lender. So I had to pay an additional 1% on both properties to Nora every month and re-sign a contract. So for 30 days, and throughout that time, it looked like I wasn't gonna get it because it's like 90 days and you still ain't closed on these properties.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, they just keep giving me extension, but they said this about to be the last extension. So I would just drive by the lots and I would look at them and I speak to the lots. I'd be like, look, I'm gonna build on you. Like, she be in the back seat. I get out the car, walk, and just kind of visualize where everything on this lot's gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna do this gonna be the driveway, we gonna do this. And just in faith, right? Like never thinking, I'm not gonna get this. I'm like, God didn't bring me this far through all this stuff for me not to get this, right? So, and then things just kind of happened. Bankruptcy fell off with one of my credit reports, and this one lender who I had got declined by before, my broker Rachel, she was like, well, ask him again, because I think he uses that specific, he only pulls that one credit report from that one bureau. So I was like, okay, and I sent it to him, and he was like, oh yeah, okay, we can do this. I was like, what? In the middle of a pandemic.
Oh wow.
So my first flips were 2 flips at one time in Gentilly, grossing over 6 figures.
Oh wow.
So it was just a major
And that's
blessing.
just like life changing, yeah.
Life changing, right?
Man.
Totally life changing. So, and then as I was going through it, I had so many people on social media and just people that I know saying, you know, how do you do this? And I was like, I would be running it to them, but when I realized that it's too much information to give in one phone conversation.
Definitely.
And it's a process. Once you learn the process, you can repeat. Yeah. So immediately before those 2 were finished, I had another piece of land come up, and then another piece of land that a partner of mine found. And I was just like, okay, so I just pulled out my 401k because, you know, my money was tied up. And we invested and started building, and I just started moving, and that's where we're at now.
Just build from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
Oh, and then after that, so well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. We're in your world. We're in your world.
I was gonna say, so after that, my next move is just like, Airbnbs. Instead of renting them, let me build my own.
Yeah.
So got in the auction again and got a commercial out that hopefully within a month or so after these sell, we can start building on too and build some Airbnbs.
Definitely. So just to backtrack in that story a bit, just because like our mother, my brother's recording by the way, our mother, went through a divorce, and we just know the mental strain, and especially if someone's dragging it in court, the mental strain and all that can play a part, and really just you persevering, staying strong-minded and staying really goal-oriented, to get to this point. So much respect, and I really admire that. Really, if you would just elaborate a little bit on that, just having that strong mindset during that time and getting to to this moment now, really how important that was. Because you already mentioned you're faith oriented, so I'm sure you grew a lot during that time spiritually.
Tremendously. As a believer, you can read the Bible and God will give you an interpretation, the Holy Spirit will reveal things to you, but there comes a time when you got to put that into action, right? You got to put your faith into action and really use those principles. So when I was in the Colony, Texas, which is right next to Plano. It's like Sedity area, right? And I was a little sedated because I was making, before I quit this job, when I had her, I was making some sedated money. And kind of taking it for granted, And then when I got to a month where it was like, where's this rent gonna come from? I went walking with her. She was tiny. And I was just like, God, what's going on here? Because I'm feeling like I'm a scrub right now. Like, I'm not a scrub. Like, you did not, am I going to be homeless on the street?
Yeah.
And then that's this word that I had been building in myself for years came up and was like, I'm more than a conqueror. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God supplies for all my needs through his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in this world. And then I just start building myself up in that. And with that, every little move I made, even though a lot of things seem like I'm going down, like for instance, I didn't even have the money to buy a U-Haul, right? Because I had to pay this other rent on these Airbnbs because eventually it might make me some money the following month. But so you're
really kind of living on a dream a little bit.
It's just walking by faith, right? Because when I quit my job, I told God, I was like, you're going to have to make something shake because I have to take care of her.
Yeah.
I cannot, just see my child for a couple hours and then go back to work and do it again and pay somebody $1,500 who's a stranger and doesn't even know me, right?
Definitely.
She needs to be with somebody who loves them. So it was definitely hard, but it was nothing but my faith in God that he'll provide, that he'll make a way. All I have to do is put my mind to it, stay focused on him, put him first in all things, and he will make a miraculous way, and that's what he did. And when he did it, I was like, what? Okay. Even though in my mind, like for instance, when I was going through those 90 days or where I had to keep pushing back the closing, I would visualize myself at the closing table. I was like, okay, what am I gonna wear? And I just closed my eyes and I imagined it.
Yeah.
What am I gonna wear? How am I signing? How's my hair? Like I was on point, right? So I think that God gave us a gift of visualization and imagination to use to pull stuff into manifestation of the now. And that's what I did.
So with that being said, where do you see yourself really in 3 years, 5 years?
Okay, so the goal by that time is to just really be on another level, right? So I want to have this Airbnb empire. I have a certain number of flips that I want to just do a year, a certain number of partners that I want to partner with and help them, which is like this one right here. I partnered with a client of mine. So just teaching and training people so that they know this is nothing but a process. This isn't hard to do. Right? If you know the process, you can do it. If you don't know the process, it seems hard, right?
Exactly.
I'm hoping to do a subdivision probably up north sometime this year.
Okay.
In Monroe, Louisiana, a couple of flips up there.
You're all over.
Yeah. And the crazy part is some things just kind of falls into place. Now, I'm always looking for things and for opportunities. Like I really want to do something in Baton Rouge. I just need to get to know, the right folks down there, and get to know, some good contractors and things of that nature. What else? Condos, subdivisions, Airbnbs, hotels, just everything. That's what I want. I'm just ready to be on another level. I can't explain it.
Because really, like, when you mention, like, it's just starting to fall in your lap, but it's really because you've done that groundwork and you've really put in that work.
Oh, yeah.
And really, just to fall back on what you said, it's a process. Like, it's the same thing over and over, and you just scale and get better. And it's really for, like, a lot of people may see, like, a HDTV and think it's easy, but it's really people like you who really, break it down and teach the course, and I think it's really, really valuable. Check it out. Check out your website and everything. It's phenomenal. Check it out, and it's really, really good. And really, how should someone approach you really who has no experience, who wants to get into real estate, but see you, kicking butt doing it? How should they approach you? How could you really help them with the basics?
So basically, right now I have a couple of things I'm offering. So I do a 90-day accelerator course. It's called Flip Your Way to Freedom. So where I'm basically giving you the tools to get into position to flip, even if you don't have, the cash or you don't have the credit score. And then I'm teaching them about single family investments, multifamily investments, Airbnb, and flipping. But the main focus is flipping, but I'm giving them a foundation of knowledge on investing in real estate, period, how to analyze the market, the right relationships that you need, contractors, inspectors, lenders, all those types of things, as well as getting your budget and your finances in order, of course, your credit, your debt to income ratio, and how to invest on the commercial side, right? So not just using my name to buy something, but also just creating your own company and using that to move forward. And then I'm also offer like intensives. So I do like a 90-minute intensive for people. Let's say somebody has a project or a piece of property that they already have a purchase agreement on, and they're like, I'm stuck with financing, or they're stuck somewhere and they need the guidance. So I offer that. Okay. And sometime in the future, I keep saying in the future, but I really want to create something to where we can teach this to kids. Right? So like elementary, high school, like they need to, if I was learning about real estate in high school, oh my God.
Definitely same.
Man, I would definitely be so far ahead of where I am right now. Yeah. But
you're doing really well, so you're doing really well.
Thank you.
You deserve it. So.
But they need that to know that, what we're learning in school is cool. Right? But you need to learn how to make money out here in the world without trading your time for it. Right? Because once you stop trading time for money, you can think, you can question, you can create. Yeah. But when you're so bogged down in that hustle and bustle, it's like, man, or bogged down in check to check, or behind a check. And how we get up, and then you're forever running on that rat race. Whereas if I can teach you how to flip 2 houses a year and make, 70, 80, 100 grand, would that help your life?
Definitely.
It would totally help it. So, yeah.
Definitely. So, last question. what does success mean to you?
Good question.
Yes. And you can look into the camera.
Okay. So what's so crazy is, y'all remember that song by what's his name? Drake? I Just Want to Be Successful. Like that used to be my song. When was this? Was that maybe like 2008 or 2009?
Yeah, that was 809. Right?
Yeah. And so back then I used to think, man, I want to be like, I had the great corporate job and I had the, the Mercedes Benz and the houses, but I still didn't feel successful because I didn't have my time, I didn't have my freedom, and I still had bills that I have to pay like monthly. And I think success, well, it's twofold. One, it's accomplishing the goals and the purposes that God set for your life, for one, right? For two, to me, success is not being able to live your life on your own terms, right? So it's, I don't want to go to work today, I ain't going. Or, I want to go on vacation next week and someone says, oh, well, you can't. And you're like, well, no, I'll talk to y'all later because I'm going, right? It's being able to do what you want to do and not being restricted or controlled by what others are telling you to do. So success to me is freedom. Yeah,
definitely. And a lot of people don't wake up. They're comfortable with that job, with that salary.
I never.
You're a risk taker. You're taking like a lot of risk and a lot of faith moves to really get here. So that is like much respect, and I admire that, definitely.
Thank you. And the one thing I know is I take those risks, and I only started taking them when I knew God would never let me fail. You know what I'm saying? So He always got me. He's never left me or forsake me. So I'm gonna be good. But at the same time, I do have to tap in and tune in and listen to which way He's directing me to go. And even if a way looks good, but it's like, nah, you shouldn't do that deal, or nah, you shouldn't partner with that person, I gotta respect that, and I gotta keep going the way He's directing me in order to be successful.
Exactly.
Because it's not all about money.
Yeah,
it's not all about money.
A lot of people realize that once they get that money, because you're trying to hustle, trying to get it, you gotta get this straight. And once you get the money, then you see, okay, so yeah. So
I'll just say one last thing. So it took so long for my project. So really, I won the auction. I think it was March 2019. And I didn't start building until September 2020. Right? So it took me that long paying on the hard money loan, trying to get somebody to fix it.
So that's interest payments every month?
Yeah, but I had a job, so it was like...
Yeah.
And I also bought them at a low cost, right? I just didn't physically have the cash to pay the whole thing. But let's say if I had been working and stacking for 3 or 4 years, then I would have been able to just pay that off and not need the hard money.
Yeah.
But, he's silly. Dang it, I kind of lost my train of thought. So it taking that long, ma'am, stop it. It taking that long, I lost my train of thought. What you had said before? No.
Honestly, how cuteness made me lose it.
I know, right? It's just like... Okay, let me backtrack. So, as long as what I'm doing is on the side of right, eventually it's gonna work. And that's what people don't understand is doing something entrepreneurially, that stuff takes time. And nobody ever told me that it took time. So like when I had online boutiques in 2007 and nobody was using credit cards online, or social media, there was no Instagram, right?
Nobody hit the curve a little bit.
Yeah, it was just Facebook, and I'm selling purses and stuff out of my car while I got a job, but I'm just liking commerce. And one moment, baby. And just, it takes time. So you just gotta stay in there. But in order to stay in there, you gotta stay in faith, and you gotta stay focused on the end and not the process. The process is just a process, and you can't even let that mess with your mind. Like so many, the clients that I do have, sometimes I'm just like, you're being real negative, you're being hard on yourself. This is the process. Finding a property is the process. Analyzing the market is a process. Getting the loan is a process, paperwork process.
Yeah.
But if you can forget about all that and just keep your eyes on the end, it's no stopping. It's no stopping you.
You just have a tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
All right, so I know I said my last question, but this is my last question.
Oh, it's fine. I ain't got nothing going on right now.
This is my last
question.
Same here, same here. Mm-hmm. So, if you could go back and tell yourself anything, or give yourself, advice, probably let's say maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you can use the time, but really you can go back in time and just tell yourself something. What would it be?
I'd say go with your gut. Because I wanted to flip houses in 2000, after the hurricane, 2006, 2007. I was talking to contractors, looking at houses. I had already bought, when I was 24, I bought a house that our house had in Baton Rouge, right? That was road home time. I wanted to flip. Instead of flipping, I bought that, and then I bought a duplex. But I had people, even people close to me, like, well, contractors are iffy, they could mess over you. And so what I did to make myself more knowledgeable was I took the Rich Dad, Poor Dad courses, the books, the conferences. Like, I threw my money into learning about real estate. Really learning about real estate. And I started analyzing deals left and right. At work, all I would do was analyze deals. And I was like, oh my God, it's a freaking gold mine right here. Like, I can make $50,000 here, $50,000 here. And construction costs were extremely cheap then compared to now. And so what I would tell myself is bet on you. Go in on you. Like, trust your gut. Push out everybody else's negativity. And, they're them saying, because people tend to focus on the negatives in every situation. What one thing might go wrong, but it's 75 million quadrillion things that might go right.
They try to put like their fears on you.
Yeah, and I let people do that. But I don't do that no more. So, if you're not speaking positivity, like, I'll never tell somebody, I don't think your idea is gonna work. Right? I'll never do it. Even if I don't think it's the greatest idea, it may work for them. All right, I mean, unless it's an investment and I know the area, then I'll tell you it's in my lane. But I'll never do that because, anything is possible. All things are possible with God.
Definitely. And you're proven of that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, one more last question. I know I said it a couple times, but you being a woman in this industry, just how is it being able to maneuver through more of a male-dominated industry as a female?
I think most people think it's a disadvantage. I see it as an advantage. Being a woman, there's a certain way you can talk to people. There's a certain essence that you bring just naturally. And when you tap into that and use that, you can really get things done for you, and you can get things done faster, and you find that people are more pleasant. So I think being a woman in this male-dominated industry is really a plus. I don't see it as a negative at all. It's actually just kind of cool. I don't know.
No.
I think it's cool. I think it's a plus.
It is. And I see your attention to detail. I mean, I've been to a couple properties and all the ones that we do, but I just see the attention to detail as early as this roughing phase, kind of, so I definitely see.
So it's a plus. It's a plus. I love it. I like working with the guys I do work with. It's definitely a plus.
Okay. And did you have any trouble more of like finding like a crew that you use or anything like that?
God provided. That's all I can say.
Hey, I love
this kind of just fell one day. I went and looked at a house and I was like, all right. Next day we start moving with them. So
hey, I love it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So where can the people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. I am DanielleMichele.com, or Facebook Danielle Michele, or you can go to my website. It's DanielleMichele.com.
Any last words? You want a little? Any last words?
I wish you would stop. My last words. Never settle. Never settle. And anything is possible.
Definitely.
Really?